Good morning, class 8. Hope you all are fine and well at home. Please, students, stay at home and stay safe, okay? Now, today is our first class of computer, and before starting the class, I would like to tell you, you all have got your syllabus with you. So, you can see from the syllabus, and you have all got your books also. So, according to the syllabus, your first chapter is operating system. Now, before starting with what is this operating system, I would like to give you one example. See, students, we all know that in a human being, the main life of a human being or the body is your heart. Main life is your heart. If the heart is not present in the body, then it will be just a body. Okay, no life will be there. So in a similar way, in a computer system, just because we all know, we all have read in previous chapters or previous classes that computer is nothing but simply a machine. Until unless you put a life into it, it is just a machine. So from where will we get that life? The life is this, which gives a life, a new life to a computer system. To make it work or to work with that computer or to make it perform the tasks which you want the computer to perform, that life will be brought by this particular system which is called operating system. Now students, we all have read in our previous classes that our computer is divided into two parts. One is your hardware and the other is software. Now what is this hardware and what is the software? Hardwares are all the physical components or physical devices which are attached with the computer, that you can see, that you can touch them, okay, like keyboard, mouse. You can see from here also, if I show you, if this is a computer, then the devices attached with it is, this is a mouse, this is a keyboard, this is a monitor, this is the CPU. So every physical devices which are attached with a computer comes under hardware. Then what is software? Softwares are, they are also part of computers, but they can only be seen because they are the instructions which we give to computers to perform a task. Say for example, you want computer to perform the addition of two numbers. So you have to instruct the computer that please add these two numbers. So with which you are giving the instruction to a computer to perform a task, that instruction will be written in a particular language or by using a component which is called software. So software are the parts which can only be seen but it cannot be touched because they are present inside the computer, because those are only the instructions that can be fit inside the computer so that they can perform the task. So we got to know about the two components of computer. One is your hardware, which are the physical components that you can see, touch, and the other is your software, which are the instructions that can be seen only, you cannot touch them, okay? So these two components make up a computer. Now students, the reason behind why I told you about this hardware and software is how it is related to operating system. See, hardware and software, these are totally dependent on each other. That means hardware cannot work without software, whereas software cannot also work without hardware. That means in a computer to run efficiently or to work efficiently, you have to be there. These both things should be there. That is, one, hardware should also be there and software should also be present. If any one of them is absent, then the computer will not be able to work or run. So both these should be present. Now the platform, that is the platform, they are interacting with each other. So they need a platform, they need an interface through which hardware can interact with software, software can interact with hardware. So the interaction between these two components of a computer, or the platform which provides, is provided with the help of this operating system, which we call as OS also. Again I repeat, OS or operating system is acting as a platform or a bridge between hardware and software so that they both can interact with each other. Because if OS is not present in between this hardware and software, then it will be just a device only. They will not be able to interact. Like, what is interaction? Will the keyboard talk with the computer, or will the mouse will talk with the computer? No. This interaction doesn't mean talking. Interaction means when you are pressing any key from the keyboard, you are getting to see that same character on the screen. When you are pointing or clicking any mouse button, then you are able to see the respective reflection of action on the screen. So this is what the interaction I am talking about. That when you are entering some keys from the keyboard, the same thing you can see on our screen or monitor. The similar way, when you are using the mouse, which is a pointing device, when we are pointing anything or when we are clicking on anything, the same action you can see on the screen. So the way where hardware is interacting with the software, so that is possible only with the help of operating system. So it is a software, or it is a system, you can say, that acts as a platform between hardware and software so that they can interact with each other. And if the interaction is there in between hardware and software, then and only you can make a computer run or work efficiently. Okay. Now, apart from this work, there are many other works of operating system. From the word itself you can understand operating, that means it operates or controls or monitors the overall all functions of the computer devices. It not only checks the computer, checks the memory status, checks whether every of the devices which are attached with the computers are working properly or not. Also, it gives some security options, whether your computers are virus free or not. So these all together make up your operating system. That's why I compared this operating system with the heart of a human being. Because if heart is not there, then none of the organs will be working in a human body. Similarly, if operating system or OS is not present in a computer, then also none of the devices will work, or you'll not be able to see anything on the computer. Okay, it will be just like a machine only. So there is a vital role, very important part is your operating system regarding computer. Okay. Now, next is you're going to see that there are some features of operating system given in your textbook. Like, features are main features of OS, that means operating system. Like the first one is multitasking. Second one, multi-programming. Third, parallel processing. Fourth, device management. Now students, before starting explaining all the different points or all the main features of operating system, I would like to give you some examples of operating system. Like the one which we very commonly use is our Windows. Earlier DOS was used, now Windows, Apple. Okay, these are all Linux, Unix, these are all different examples of operating systems with which we work. Now, the features of operating system. First, multitasking. What do you mean by multitasking? Multitasking means at a time when we are performing many tasks under operating system. Okay, when we are performing at a time many work, that is called your multitasking. Multi means many, task means work. Okay. So multitasking means when you are performing more than one task at a time, at the same time. That is called multitasking. This is the first feature of operating system, where it has got an ability where we can perform more than one task at the same time. Our second feature of operating system is multi-programming. Multi-programming means, as just now I mentioned, that we can perform multiple or many works at the same time. So naturally there will be a need for storing those multiple programs. So under CPUs, this is also an ability of operating system, or you can say a capacity of operating system, where we can store multiple programs at the same time, multiple datas at the same time. So this process where we are storing, or where we are able to store multiple or many programs at the same time, that is called multi-programming. Okay. Our third feature is parallel processing. Now CPUs, they are having this parallel processing. Just go through your book once. It is written that the use of two or more CPUs to handle a single task. Say for example, if you want to add any extra CPUs, generally we have one CPUs in our computer. So if you want to add extra to more than one CPUs in your computer system, so that it will be more speed in the work, and so that it can be used to handle single tasks, such feature is called parallel processing, and this is widely used in networking concept. Usually in networking, or when we are connecting different computers, that is what is called networking. In that case, we generally use this very feature of operating system, where we need to assign two or more than two CPUs to handle single tasks. That is called parallel processing. Our third is device management. What is this device management? Just now I said that when you are pressing any keys from the keyboard, and the same keys will be reflected on the screen, or when you are pointing with the help of that mouse, or clicking something or selecting something, the same thing, the same action you can see on the screen or the monitor. So this is how it is managed with the help of operating system. That means we all know that computer have input device and output device. Now what is this work of input device and output device? Input devices are devices which are used for entering any data. When you want to enter any data like keyboard, mouse, these are all different kinds of input devices. So input device, when you are entering any data from this input device, that is also maintained or managed by OS. Similar way, after entering the data, calculations or processing is done on those data, and finally after the processing, we get to see the result. Where do we get to see the result? Yes, we get to see those results in output devices like our screen or the monitors. So this is the output device where we get to see the final result of the processed data. So see, this is also managed by OS. That means you can see from this point that OS manages both the input device plus the processing plus the output device. So it manages each and every devices so that they function properly. So this is what is called device management, and this is a very vital role of operating system, that it manages everything, not only input devices but also the processing, the whole process of calculating or computing those data, and after that, after finishing the processing, then it displays the final result in the output devices. That is also managed by operating system. So this is what is called device management. So these are the main features you can see, which you can get to see in your textbook also. So these are some of the main features of operating system discussed. Next, we are going to learn about the main functions of operating system. We have learned what is operating system, what is the work of operating system, what are the features of operating system. Next, we are going to learn about some of the functions which are given in your textbook, major functions of operating system. Students, please look into your book that your first function of operating system is booting. Now what does this booting term means? Booting is when you first give the switch power, and then you give on the power button of your CPU and your computer starts. So the moment or the time from where you put on the power switch and then you press the power button of the CPU and your computer starts, the whole process is called booting. Okay, starting of the computer is called booting. See over here, it's written in your textbook also. I'm just going through the line. The process in which the computer is turned on and the OS starts. You will see the moment you press the power button, your computer starts. You get to see many lines. You don't understand. You people think that, oh, what is happening what is going on with this computer? But no, students, actually the operating system is working behind the moment you give the power to the computer. It starts its working from then. Because the moment you give the power to the computer machine, the OS starts working. It keeps on checking each and every devices attached with the computer, whether they are functioning properly or not. Scanning is done, memory is checked, etc. So these all works are done. Until and unless we get the first desktop screen on the computer, we keep on seeing these all things. These are all the tests performs, and these tests are called, but it is not given in your textbook, but remember the test which are performed by the OS when the first computer starts is called POST, P-O-S-T. This is the name of the test which is performed by the operating system when you first start on the computer. So booting is that process where the computer, when it starts on, the OS perform its function. That is called booting. Okay, you can see it there. It's written also that while the computer is starting on, the OS continuously checks all the hardware and software devices, whether all of them are functioning properly or not. Second, managing memory. What is this managing memory? The main function of OS is the memory management. Just now you saw that it manages devices. Along with devices, it manages memory because it needs to see whether enough memory space is there or not. Say for example, we generally keep on installing different types of softwares. So without ever seeing whether the space is there or not. So we have to equally see that the space is available or not. This work is done with the help of operating system. See, it's written over here. The OS is required to manage different programs. It defines the amount of memory needed whenever you want to install any software or any program. It needs to be seen whether there is enough space in the memory or not, so that you can install or give it to that particular software. So for that, the OS does the work for you. It gives you a reminder whether there is any space available or not, or whether you are able to download or install any software program or not. So this is what is called memory management or managing memory. Third, loading and execution. What it's written, applications can be executed only after loading in the system's memory. OS has the ability to load programs in the memory and run whenever required. Yes. So for the first time when you are installing any software program, it is the work of the operating system that after the installation, whenever you click on that software, how it is going to open, how it is going to be executed, that work is also done with the help of operating system. So that is what is called that OS starts from the loading till the execution of the software, whether it's working properly or not. That is also under the responsibility or duty of operating system. Fourth, managing data security. Now what is this managing data security? It's given, we all know that generally when we save any data on a computer, it gets stored in the hard disk in the form of files and folder. So it's a responsibility, or you can say duty of operating system to manage every records of the files and folders. It records starting from the creation, modification, deletion, renaming, each and every work, whatever we are doing with the files and folders is done with the help of, or it is done under the supervision of operating system. So this way it manages data security also. Next is managing disk. Managing disk. The OS processes the disk space to store files and folders. It also provides a system for all the files and folders so that they can be seen. In case you are storing your files and folders in the disk, so it is the responsibility of the operating system also that in case if the data get deleted, so it will recover the data for you people. Okay, so this is what is called managing disk. So students, in today's class, just up to here, I have taught these functions. In the remaining class, I will continue with the remaining part of the functions of operating system. Okay, thank you.